Before I start, I just want to say hi to everybody, and I just want to quickly just recap on my background. I'm traditionally a documentary photographer, but in the last few years I've looked for other ways to distribute my work as opposed to the traditional methods. And I've moved into multimedia, so moving image, incorporating moving image, sound, music. And I've just finished a feature-length film, which was quite a big project. And one of the other things that I've kind of wanted to do is, as traditionally being a documentary photographer, look at ways where I can kind of create instant kind of change with my subjects. So I'm going to talk about a project that I kind of tested that kind of method, or a method. So, yeah. Beyond Documentary is the project's name, and it embraces action towards instant empowerment for its subjects. This is done by using collaboration and alternative story distribution methods. The story is actually about two girls from South Auckland, which was where I was originally brought up. The current social identity of South Auckland, a term used to describe the district of south of Auckland, is largely governed by media, often unfairly. In particular, the youth of South Auckland are featured frequently in the local and national news. In the summer of 2008, I met two teenagers in Manurewa who were not into gangs, stealing, or making trouble. They were into their friendships, hanging out in the garage, in the takeaway bar, or spending time with family. Beyond Documentary's key protagonists, Nikki and Annie, are two normal teenagers from Manurewa. We collaborate to make a multimedia narrative of their story. To create the work, I use commonly available technology accessible within the community, for example, mobile phones, digital cameras, and the internet, then distributed it into the community on existing LCD screens, posters, and online. I photographed the girls in a traditional manner and recorded the girls with video and my mobile phone and things. And then I gave them digital compact cameras to photograph themselves. These last two shots, including this one, are the first things that they started to do was to photograph themselves as in their own self-portraits, kind of adapted from that sort of Bebo sort of style picture-taking that teenagers do. Where am I? And then I, in turn, also help them edit and narrate their documentary stories. To counteract distribution restraints of commercial story applicable to magazines and TV, I chose to utilise alternative media, being the Manukau Festival of Arts. I considered the inclusion of the work in the festival to be a meeting of two worlds, community media exploiting the corporate sector to facilitate a story rather than the other way around. This is actually what we did as well. We did a blog site, and this image here is an image made by Annie, one of the girls. And on the blog site we put captions. This is her caption for this image. Today is Wednesday, Mum's payday and food shopping day. I go with Mum to help her. We shop for the week's food. I'm the one who always puts the fruit in the bowl because I like it done a certain way. I made this photograph because it's colourful and the fruit bowl itself has unique shape. It is not full that often. I think we got the bowl from a garage sale. Also, part of the other way to distribute the work was through a blog site. And with this blog site, we put these captions and these photographs, and we did all this work together. Like I said, the photographs consisted of images that I had made and images that the girls had made. As I said, we loaded these images up together. The blog site kind of was part of the exhibition, and it was also used to promote the exhibition initially, so before the exhibition came out with the festival. I used it to raise funds to fund the street posters, which was the other component of the exhibition. So all of this work was actually displayed in their environment, in their community, with the aim to giving them the power and having some kind of instant kind of social sort of action around it. Because like I said, I questioned so much over time whether or not, you know, my social documentary work actually really did make a difference to the people that I photographed. We also used like I talked a lot with Annie about her ways of expressing herself, and some of the, you can see on some of these images here, these are her scribbles that she's made in her own diary. So we incorporated layers of texture and words. And this is actually the day that I took the two girls out and we drove around the city and we had a look at where the posters were. It was quite exciting because we didn't really know where they were going to pop up, and we had a list, so we kind of found them. And that's Nikki, one of the girls, kind of going up to a poster and straightening it up, making sure it was nice and flat and straight. There were two companies we used for the posters. One was Phantom, and the other was a company, but they posted in illegal spots, which was really good because it meant that the posters stayed within the community and up for a long time. The other thing we did was the LCD component, which had actually never been done before, because these LCD screens are situated in the Westfield Shopping Centre. So what we had to do initially was we had to storyboard the work, and we did that and we did that together. So we edited, and then I worked closely with an animator on After Effects, and we made this multimedia short film, if you like, using stills, sound and text and interviews. And then we talked to iMedia, who are the people that own the screens, and talked them into letting us putting the work on their screens without charging us anything for it. And because it was a community project and they had a community initiative called I Have a Heart, which had actually only just developed before I approached them, which was fantastic. So I'm really excited about this idea, and here's a little snippet. So that little video is actually shot on my little G10. It's amazing what you can do when you just use the equipment that you've got available to you, which actually means that it's accessible for these kids and for anybody to actually create their own stories, provided that you give them the skills to do that. I've got another workshop coming up. I'm working with young migrant women with MIC, and also Beyond Documentary will be shown in its full capacity with a full multimedia element to it at MIC opening on the 9th. That's my little plug, so come along and be part of the community. Thank you.